back to my channel. My name is Jackie, and today I will be doing a makeup look for you guys. This is a fresh face. We're just going for something really sultry and kind of natural but glam at the same time. So we're gonna get started. First up, to prep her skin, I went in with the ZKL 24K Gold Leaf Ampoule Serum and I'm putting this all over her face with my hands. So just making sure to massage this into her skin to just nourish it before we go in with the products. Next up, I'm going in with some moisturizer on top of that serum to further prep her skin. I like to use my hands for this step because I feel like I'm able to, give my client a good massage, get the blood circulating, and just spread the product a bit better, I think. But using a brush for this step is also fine. And don't forget to take it down the neck. Next, I'm going to go in with primer. So I'm using very little primer today, just on her T-zone. So I'm using the Zaron primer just on her forehead, her nose, and her chin. So I'm gonna go in with some lip balm to just moisturize the lips so that when we come back to do the lips later on, the lips are ready to go, supple and soft. Next, I'm going in with foundation. I'm using my Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation. I think I used the shade Nairobi for her. It was a bit light. Oh my god, so this foundation frustrates me sometimes. I said this in a previous video, but I actually love the foundation because it's really long lasting. And I mentioned this foundation in my last video where I talked about the long lasting foundations for hot climate. So if you haven't seen that video, please do check it out. So I'm just blending this all over her face with a brush because I find that that's what works best for me. Then I'm gonna go in with a sponge just to take off the excess product much later. Guys, can you see this foundation? It's full coverage. I really like it. I just have a problem with the shades sometimes, but it's a good foundation, and if you know how to work your way around it, you'll see the end look, you'll see the finished look, and it came out beautiful. So yeah. And guys, I also did her hair in about 5 minutes, just something quick. So just going in with my beauty sponge just to take off any excess and further blend the foundation in. Next up, I'm going in with Juvia's Place concealer and just using my finger to put that under her eyes, her nose, her chin, her forehead, and I'm going in with the darkest shade, same concealer, just to contour her face with it. Then I'm going in with my e.l.f. stippling brush, my e.l.f. stippling small stippling brush, just to blend out that contour that I put down. And then I'm gonna go over it with a sponge, just to, make everything seamless and smooth. So I decided to leave a lot of the footage in this video. I didn't want to make it too short because I want you guys to see the kind of work that goes into blending out products sometimes. It's not all quick like you see on YouTube. Sometimes it takes time, depending on the kind of makeup that you're having to. Anyway, so I'm just blending that concealer in and I'm using some of that product to go over her eyelid just to prep it, a little bit for eyeshadow application much later. So going in with my foundation brush again, I'm using this to go over that contour, where the contour and the highlight meets, just so everything is seamless because you don't want to know where one is ending and the other is starting. So going in with my powder now, loose powder from Juvia's Place again. I'm just using this to set that concealer. You get what you said, so make sure you use your sponge to go over your crease in case it has crease under your eyes. Just smoothen that out and then go in with your powder. If you don't do that, if you set creases, you're gonna get creases throughout the day. Does that make sense? Okay, so just putting this powder all over the face where I put the concealer only. And then next I'm going in with a powder shade of hers, and I'm just using it to set the rest of the face where the foundation is. And I'm using my color powder palette for this step. So I'm going in with the second to darkest shade in that same palette and using that to contour her face. You know, just to bring some definition back to her face. Flick of the wrist. So next up, I'm going in with that same Juvia's Place loose setting powder to carve out her cheekbones because I really wanted, you know, her cheekbones to pop. So I'm just using this to carve that out. I'm going to dust it off much later. Up next is brows. I'm going in with the Brow Tamer by TM Essentials, and I'm just using this to lay the brows down. Then I'm going onto the eyelid with the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 03. So just blending this out with my Real Techniques brush. So make sure to do this step properly, okay? Keep blending that eyeshadow base till there are no creases on that eye, okay? Because if not, your eyeshadow work is just going to be patchy and not nice. So my eyeshadow palette that I'm using today, or one of them, is the ColourPop X Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette. So I'm just using a shade on there. I think this is the Moonshine, I think, or Rice Paper. I'm not sure. I'm just using this to just define her crease just a little bit. Then I went in with a reddish tone just to furthermore define that crease. Then going in with a smaller brush, this is from Nuben Beauty. I'm going with the dark brown shade in the same palette to just define the outer edge of her eye and bringing that up onto the crease also. So taking a fresh brush now and just blend everything out. Next up, I'm going to be putting a champagne shade from the Kali Bible palette by BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to put this on the lid. That is such a pretty shade, guys. Just look at that. And I like using my fingers for shimmer shades because I feel like they deposit the color properly, or the pigment. And now I'm just using a small brush to get into those places where my finger couldn't get to. So I went ahead and did the liner off camera, and now I'm just using the same shades that I used on her crease to just smudge along her lower lash line. Now I'm using her powder shade to just buff out that shadow that I used on the lower lash line, just to make sure that everything blends in to that under eye area properly. So next up, I'm just going in to just fill out her brows just a little bit. I'm using the Noble Beauty Better Brows in 01 and 02. So nothing crazy. I don't want crazy brows, just something very, very natural. So I'm just going back and forth between both pencils. One is darker, so it just gives you that dimension. Now I'm going to use some concealer to just clean up the brows just a little bit, very, very little concealer, because as you can see, I'm done with the eye look. Then I also put on some lashes. Guys, these lashes, Lord knows I would probably never use them in real life, but yeah, it looks good though. She really likes them, so yeah, the client is always right. So now going in with some mascara and just merging her lashes to the false lashes just so they look more natural. Yeah. Up next is blusher. I'm going into my classic blush palette, and I'm just using a mixture of like 3 shades to blush up her cheeks. I also like to take some of that color up onto the temples, the forehead, sometimes the nose. It just depends on my mood really. Then I'll be going into highlighter. I'm using the BH Cosmetics Wild Child highlight palette, and with a small brush, and I'm just putting this on the high point of her face. That is so pretty, such a pretty shade. I really enjoyed creating this look, guys. It was so flawless, so flawless. Up next is lips. So I'm going to be using my Colourpop BFF pencil. I think BFF 2 or 3, not sure. And I'm going to be using this to line her lips. And then I'll be going into my Eye Magic lip palette, and I'll be using the dark brown shade there just to go over that lip pencil to reinforce that color, because I wanted something a bit darker. And still from the Eye Magic lip palette, I'll be using 2 shades, like a pinkish nude and another nude color. Mix them together just so I can get this custom shade for this nude lip. Yeah, so I'm just going to blend that out. And of course I added some gloss in the end, but for some reason I think my camera cut off before I applied the gloss, and I was like, oh, what happened, so yeah, this is pretty much the finished look, well, almost finished look, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, it's free. Okay, and also be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed watching this video, and also check out some of my other videos. I'll link them down below in the description box, and do not forget to comment also. Yeah, this is the clip where I lost my gloss. So yeah, here's the finished look. Then I noticed that her nose wasn't snatched enough, so I went in there and snatched it some more. and I saw that it was a bit harsh, so I went in with her face powder, her shade, and I just went over those contour lines just to soften them up a little bit, and that just looks more natural. Yes, yes. So yeah, this is the finished look, guys. This is the finished look. Yay! Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and be sure to subscribe. Till I see you next time.